Welcome back to the channel Rare Coin Insights. Is your pocket change hiding a secret treasure? The 1978 US penny might seem like just another coin, but what if I told you some of them could be worth much more than their face value? Imagine finding a coin that could change your financial future. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, today, we're diving into the mystery of the 1978 penny, and trust me, you're going to want to pay close attention. Because by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot a 1978 penny that could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. You might even have one sitting in your wallet right now. When we think of collectible coins, we often picture ancient relics, gold, or rare silver pieces, things that seem out of reach for most of us. But hidden in the change we get every day are coins that, with the right conditions, could be worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars. The 1978 penny is one of those coins. For years, people have overlooked these humble little coins, thinking they were worth nothing more than the 1 cent stamped on their face. But there's more to this penny than meets the eye. In fact, a 1978 penny could very well be hiding in plain sight, waiting to make someone a small fortune. Let's take a closer look at this penny's history and design. The 1978 penny is instantly recognizable, with Abraham Lincoln's face on the obverse, designed by Victor D. Brenner. The reverse, showing the iconic Lincoln Memorial, was created by Frank Casparo. You've seen it countless times, probably without giving it a second thought. But what if I told you that hidden within these familiar designs are coins that could be worth far more than the few cents they represent? The 1978 penny is made of 97.5% zinc, with a thin copper plating, a mix that was introduced in 1982, replacing the heavier copper composition used before. That means by the time 1978 rolled around, this penny was already part of a transition in coin-making materials. While the composition itself may not seem extraordinary, it's the minting process that can sometimes lead to rare errors. That's where the real treasure lies, produced in 3 locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1978 penny has some intriguing possibilities. The Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering 4.9 billion pennies, while Denver churned out around 4.7 billion. San Francisco's proof coins, which are specially struck for collectors, total around 3.1 million. At first glance, these numbers may seem massive, but they're not what truly determines the value of a penny. As we'll see, it's the rare and unique errors that can turn these coins into something truly extraordinary. But before we get into those valuable errors, let's take a look at what a standard 1978 penny looks like. Measuring 19.05 millimeters in diameter and weighing 2.5 grams, the 1978 penny has a plain edge. Simple, right? So, what makes it more valuable than the average penny? Well, let's find out. As we begin our search, it's important to understand that not all 1978 pennies are created equal. Some are just standard coins, while others have features that can dramatically increase their value. The key is identifying errors that happened during the minting process. The good news: these errors can be spotted with a bit of careful inspection. One of the most exciting errors you could find is a double die. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, creating a doubling effect on key features like Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date itself. Imagine finding a penny where the year 1978 is doubled. Suddenly, your coin is much more than just a penny. Depending on the severity and condition of the doubling, a 1978 penny with this error could be worth anywhere from $100 to even more, but the double die isn't the only error that can make your penny valuable. Another type of error to watch for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be cut off. If you look closely and find a penny with the Lincoln Memorial cut off on one side, or a portion of the date missing, that coin could be worth anywhere from $100 to $200, or even more, depending on how far off-center the design is. and then there are clipped planchets, a truly rare and fascinating error. Clipped planchets happen when the metal blank used to make the penny is improperly cut, leaving part of the coin missing. A clipped planchet gives the coin an odd, irregular shape, something that would definitely stand out in your collection. These coins typically range in value from $50 to $150, depending on how much of the coin is missing. But don't be fooled, some clipped planchets can fetch much more if they're particularly striking or rare, and we can't forget about die cracks and cuts. Die cracks happen when the die used to strike the coin becomes damaged, causing raised cracks on the coin's surface. Similarly, a cud is a raised blob of metal that forms when part of the die breaks off. While these errors may seem small, they can make your penny much more valuable, worth $20 to $50, or more if the crack or cut is particularly prominent or rare. But there's one more error you absolutely need to know about. It's a type of mistake that can make a 1978 penny worth far more than you could ever imagine. Hold on to that thought, because we'll dive into that rare error in just a moment. Now that you know what errors to look for, let's talk about how to identify them. The first step is simple: use a magnifying glass or loupe to carefully examine the details on your pennies. Check the letters, the date, and the edges for any signs of doubling, misalignment, or unusual wear. Pay particular attention to the areas around "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." These are the spots where doubling most commonly occurs. Next, take a close look at the edges of your pennies. If the design is off-center, the coin will look as though part of it was cut off during the minting process. The more misaligned the design, the more valuable the coin could be. You should also weigh your pennies. A standard 1978 penny weighs 2.5 grams. If you find a penny that's heavier or lighter, it could be a sign that something unusual happened during the minting process, something that could make your coin a lot more valuable. And don't forget to inspect the reverse side for die cracks or cuts. These small imperfections can make a huge difference in a coin's value, and they're easy to spot if you know where to look. But here's a crucial tip: never, ever clean your pennies. Cleaning a coin might seem like a good idea, but it actually lowers its value. Instead, store your pennies in protective holders or flips, which will help preserve their condition and keep them safe for years to come. Now that you know how to identify a valuable 1978 penny, let's talk about the market. Coin values aren't just determined by how rare an error is. Condition plays a huge role in determining what your coin is worth. A well-preserved coin, graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, can fetch a much higher price than a coin in poor condition. Auction prices for rare 1978 error pennies have been known to soar into the hundreds of dollars, especially for coins with double die or off-center strikes. Some have even gone for more, depending on the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin. The more collectors want a specific error, the higher the price it can command. If you think you found a valuable 1978 penny, where should you sell it? One option is to list it on eBay, where many coin collectors and dealers are constantly searching for rare finds. You can also visit a local coin shop or coin show, where experts can help you determine its value. But if you're serious about selling, getting your coin professionally graded is always a good idea. It can increase its value by confirming its authenticity and condition. But before you rush off to sell your penny, there's a huge mistake that collectors often make, and it can cost you big time. Want to know what it is? Stay tuned, because we'll reveal that secret in just a moment. So, what have we learned today? The 1978 penny might seem like just another coin, but with the right errors, it can be worth much more than its face value. Whether it's a double die, an off-center strike, a clipped planchet, or a die crack, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, go through your change, inspect your pennies, and see what you've got. You might just have a hidden gem. If you find a valuable 1978 penny, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear about your treasure. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more coin hunting tips, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Next time, we'll dive into another year of pennies with even more valuable errors you don't want to miss. Who knows? Maybe the next coin you check will make you a fortune. Remember, treasure hunting doesn't require a map, it can start with a penny right in your pocket. You might think that the 1999 penny is just another coin, right? A cent, barely worth anything at all. But hold on. What if I told you that some of these pennies could be worth hundreds of dollars, or even millions? That's right. Hidden in your spare change, you might have a small treasure worth far more than a single cent. Today, we're going to dive deep into the 1999 penny and uncover secrets that could make you a lot richer than you think. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot the 1999 penny that could change your life. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the history of this seemingly ordinary coin. The 1999 penny holds an interesting place in U.S. minting history. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the obverse, or front of the penny, features Abraham Lincoln's portrait, an image that's been on pennies for over a century. On the reverse side, we see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which remained part of the penny's design up until 2010 when the U.S. Mint transitioned to the Union Shield design. Now, you might be thinking, what's so special about a penny from 1999? Well, a lot actually. The 1999 penny was minted during a time of economic growth in the U.S., right before the millennium turned. The nation was in the middle of the internet boom, and it was the final year that the Lincoln Memorial design was used on the penny. With over 14 billion of these coins minted across 3 U.S. mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, there's a chance that you could find something truly unique. In the 1999 penny, the U.S. Mint continued using the same composition they had for many years, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. However, that's where the commonality ends. With such large numbers of these pennies minted, you might think they are nothing special. But keep watching, because there are rare and valuable errors that can make a 1999 penny worth much more than its humble beginning. Let's talk about the common features of the 1999 penny. The typical 1999 penny weighs 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. Its edge is plain, just like every other penny. But the sheer number of these coins minted, 5.2 billion from Philadelphia, 5.5 billion from Denver, and around 3.3 million proof coins from San Francisco, means that most 1999 pennies are quite common. But here's the kicker, among these billions of pennies, a few rare errors might make some 1999 pennies incredibly valuable. Let's dive into those rare errors that can turn a penny into a goldmine. First up, we have double die errors. These occur when the coin is struck more than once, leading to doubling of the inscriptions, like Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date itself. If you come across a penny with this kind of error, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to $100 or more, depending on the severity of the doubling. So how can you spot it? Take a magnifying glass and examine the Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse. If you notice any signs of doubling, especially in the Y of Liberty, you might just have a valuable penny on your hands. Another error to watch out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned when it's struck, resulting in a misaligned design. The value of an off-center strike depends on how much of the design is missing, but it could range from $50 to $200. So, if you have a 1999 penny and part of the design is cut off or misaligned, don't dismiss it, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Let's talk about clipped planchets next. This error occurs when the metal strip used to create the coin is cut incorrectly, leaving part of the coin's edge missing. Depending on the size of the clip, these coins can fetch anywhere from $100 to over $500. That's right, a small mistake during the minting process could end up putting a few extra $100 in your pocket. Die, cracks and cuts are other errors that could make a 1999 penny more valuable. These are raised lines or blobs of metal that appear because of cracks in the die or when metal gets stuck in the die. These errors can add between $10 to $100 to the value of your coin, depending on the size and location of the crack or cut. But here's the real treasure: there are even rarer and more valuable errors out there. One 1999 penny error has sold for thousands of dollars. And I'm not just talking about a minor mistake. These are the kinds of errors that collectors and enthusiasts dream of finding. Want to know what to look for? Stay tuned, because I'm about to reveal exactly how to spot a 1999 penny that could be worth a small fortune. Now, how do you go about identifying a valuable 1999 penny? First, take a good look at the obverse, or front, of the coin. You'll want to use a magnifying glass to inspect the inscriptions, especially "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," for any signs of doubling. Next, check for off-center strikes by looking at the edges. If part of the design is missing, you've got yourself a potential winner. But that's not all. Weigh your coin. A standard penny weighs 2.5 grams, but if it's lighter or heavier, it could be a sign that there's a minting error. Take a good look at the edges of your penny for any clipped planchets or die cracks. And don't forget the reverse of the coin. Look around the Lincoln Memorial and the lettering for any cracks or cuts that could make your penny worth more. But here's the most important tip I can give you: never clean your pennies. It might be tempting to polish them up to make them look shiny, but cleaning a coin can actually reduce its value. So, resist the urge to scrub, and instead, store your valuable pennies in acid-free holders or coin flips to keep them safe. So, now that you know how to spot a valuable 1999 penny, you might be wondering, how much could these error coins actually sell for? The answer depends on the rarity of the error and the coin's condition. The market for rare pennies is constantly fluctuating, but error coins can sell for quite a bit. For example, one recent auction saw a 1999 penny with a double die error sell for over $100. And if you find a rare off-center strike or clipped planchet, you could be looking at anywhere from $200 to $500, or even more. If you think you've got a valuable 1999 penny, there are several places where you can sell it. Online platforms like eBay have thriving coin collecting communities, and local coin shops might be willing to offer you a good price. But before you sell, consider getting your coin professionally graded. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can help boost the value of your coin by confirming its authenticity and condition. But here's the catch: there's one mistake that could cost you big time if you're not careful. What is it? Stay tuned, because I'm about to tell you. Now that you know the basics of identifying a valuable 1999 penny, it's time to hit the change jar and start searching. You never know what hidden treasures could be waiting for you in your spare change. And don't forget to check your pennies every now and then. Sometimes the rarest errors pop up when you least expect it. So, let's recap. The 1999 penny might look like just another coin, but hidden among all the billions of these pennies are some that could be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. From doubled die errors to off-center strikes, there are plenty of valuable finds out there just waiting to be discovered. Now, it's up to you to start looking. Have you found any 1999 pennies with errors? I'd love to hear about your discoveries in the comments below. If you found something truly special, let me know. I might just feature your coin in a future video. And don't forget to hit the like button if you found this video helpful, and make sure to subscribe for more tips on how to spot valuable coins. Next time, we'll be diving into another penny that might just be hiding some valuable errors. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. The next time you find a penny in your pocket, remember, there could be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Who knows? That penny could be worth far more than you ever imagined. It's easy to overlook a penny. After all, they're small, they're common, and let's be honest, when was the last time you actually thought about a penny in your pocket? But what if I told you that the 1985 US penny could be worth far more than its face value? In fact, some of these pennies are turning up with surprising values. hundreds of dollars or more. Today, I'll show you how to spot a penny that might just change your luck. Could the coin you have right now be worth a small fortune? Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your loose change. Don't miss a single detail. The 1985 penny may seem like a common coin you can easily find in circulation today. It's been around for decades, so what makes some of these pennies so special? Well, to understand the potential hidden value, we first need to look at the history behind this small but mighty coin. The 1985 penny, like every year's version of the penny, is not just a simple piece of metal, it's a historical artifact that tells a story of the time it was created. On the front of the 1985 penny, you'll see the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner in 1909. This design has remained largely unchanged for over a century. But it's not just any portrait, it's a symbol of American values, ideals, and history. On the reverse side, we find the iconic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This reverse design was introduced in 1959, replacing the wheat stalks that had appeared on the reverse since the penny's inception in 1909. But did you know that, in 1985, something was happening in the minting process that could set certain pennies apart from the rest? The 1985 penny, like all pennies from the mid-80s, was made primarily of zinc, 97.5% to be exact, with a thin layer of copper plating. This change in composition came about in the 1980s due to rising copper prices. But the story doesn't end there. By 1985, a staggering number of pennies had already been minted, and the 1985 issue was no different. Pennies were minted at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, the Denver Mint, with the D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, used only for proof coins, marked with an S. Now, while millions of these pennies were created, many of them might not be worth much today unless you know exactly what to look for. So, what makes certain 1985 pennies worth so much? With billions of these pennies in circulation, could there be a rare version sitting in your change jar right now? Let's take a closer look at the features of the 1985 penny, starting with the typical characteristics of a regular 1985 penny. The diameter is 19.05 millimeters, and the weight is 2.5 grams. The edges are plain, and the coin is mostly copper-plated zinc. But despite these standard features, there's more going on than meets the eye. When it comes to the value of a 1985 penny, the key lies in the rare errors that some of these coins carry, and here's where things start to get interesting. Not all 1985 pennies are created equal. Some are worth far more than others, sometimes, even hundreds of dollars. So, what should you be looking for when checking your pennies? First, let's talk about one of the most sought-after errors in the world of coin collecting, the double die error. This occurs during the minting process when a coin is struck more than once. The result? Doubling of letters and numbers on the coin. The most common places to find doubling are the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and even the date itself. If you happen to find a 1985 penny with this error, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to $200 or even more, depending on the condition of the coin, but that's just the beginning. What if I told you that some 1985 pennies have an even rarer mistake, one that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Yes, I'm talking about off-center strikes. These errors happen when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck off-center. A 1985 penny with a dramatic off-center strike, where part of the design is missing, can fetch anywhere from $20 to $200 or more, depending on how severe the shift is. Now, hold on, there's more. Another valuable error to look for is a clipped planchet. This happens during the blank cutting process when part of the metal planchet is missing before the coin is struck. This error results in a coin with a missing edge, and these coins are highly collectible. A clipped planchet penny from 1985 can be worth anywhere from $50 to $100, depending on the severity and location of the clip, and then there are die cracks or cuts. These imperfections occur when a die becomes damaged, leading to raised lines or blobs of metal appearing on the coin. Though these cracks might seem like small, insignificant flaws, they actually add to the value of the coin. A 1985 penny with a die crack or cut could be worth anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on the size and location of the error, but here's the thing, there's one type of error that stands out above the rest. This one is so rare and so valuable that if you find it, it could change your life. What could it be? Stay tuned because I'll reveal it shortly, but first, let's go over the key steps for identifying a valuable 1985 penny. Because the last thing you want is to overlook something that could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. To get started, you'll need a magnifying glass or a loupe. These tools will help you examine the finer details of your penny. Begin by checking the inscriptions, particularly Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. Look for any signs of doubling. If you spot this, you may have a valuable double die error on your hands. Next, check the edges of the coin. Are they smooth? Or do you see any signs of off-center strikes or clipped planchets? If the coin looks like it's been struck off-center, or if part of the edge is missing, you could have a coin worth far more than its face value, but that's not all. Weigh your coin. The standard weight for a 1985 penny is 2.5 grams. If the coin is heavier or lighter, it could indicate an error. Variations in weight, especially if they deviate from the standard, could mean you found a penny that's far more valuable than you first thought. And here's an important tip: never clean your coins. It might seem tempting, but cleaning can drastically reduce the value of your penny. Instead, protect your valuable finds by storing them in coin holders or airtight containers to preserve their condition. So, you've checked your pennies, and now you're wondering, how much are they really worth? Well, it's time to dive into the market for these coins. The value of a 1985 penny depends on several factors, including its rarity, condition, and demand. As with most collectibles, the better the condition, the higher the value. But demand plays a big role too. Coins that feature rare errors can command significantly higher prices at auction. For example, some 1985 pennies with rare double die errors have sold for $100 or more. Meanwhile, off-center strikes and clipped planchets can fetch anywhere from $20 to $200, depending on how severe the error is. In fact, there have been some 1985 pennies that have gone for thousands of dollars, especially those with the rarest of errors. But where do you sell your rare pennies? There are a few options. Online platforms like eBay and heritage auctions are great places to find buyers who are willing to pay top dollar for rare coins. You can also visit local coin shops or attend coin shows to sell your finds. However, there's one thing you must do before selling your penny: get it professionally graded. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can help determine the true value of your coin by assessing its authenticity, condition, and any unique characteristics it might have. A well-graded coin can fetch a much higher price than an ungraded one. But beware, there's one mistake that could cost you hundreds of dollars when selling your penny, and I'll reveal it right after this. Before you sell, be sure to have your coin properly graded. Trust me, getting a proper grading can make all the difference between making a few bucks and earning a small fortune. So, the next time you reach for your change, don't just throw that penny aside. The 1985 US penny might seem ordinary, but some of them are worth far more than you'd expect. With billions minted, the odds of finding a treasure might just be in your favor. Whether it's a double die error, an off-center strike, or even a clipped planchet, the potential for finding a rare and valuable penny is real. And you could be the next lucky collector to uncover one. Check your loose change, check your piggy banks, and start hunting. Who knows? That penny in your hand might just be worth a small fortune. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated, because in our next video, we'll explore another year of pennies that could hide valuable surprises. Don't miss it, treasure hunting doesn't have to start with a map. Sometimes, it starts with a penny in your hand, and it could be worth far more than you ever imagined.